As y'all can see, I got my clone here today. He's a little bit older, but this is my clone, and he gonna do a reaction today. Remind y'all, this is the same person that we was on the dirt road together, and we seen that damn lizard get up and run. So we've been on this shit for a long time.
Yeah, since kids.
Yeah, since we was kids, it just popped our minds. It was crazy. But look, man, he gonna do a reaction to one of my compilations, and y'all go ahead and support my brother. Smash that like button. Let's get this video to like 15,000 likes. Subscribe. Let's get him to 1,000 subscribers in one day. Let's run it up. But look, hopefully y'all like his reaction. He might be funnier than me. Let me know how y'all feel about him. You ain't gonna do no talking? Oh, let's go back. Yeah, you can go back. Hey, he wasn't even gonna talk to y'all, bro. He was just gonna do the reaction and shit.
I was gonna get straight to the video. I'm straight from the Epstein files. Yeah. So we're gonna be replacing him pretty soon. Y'all ain't gonna see him. He gonna be in the next one on the Epstein files. He gonna be the next one on the Epstein files. All right, let's get into these videos, see what we got going on.
Hold on, so let me get this straight. Vampires are real, time travel is real, aliens are real, our country is ran by pedophiles, we ain't never been to space, the Matrix is real, we live in the Matrix, and everybody that's rich and famous and got some power worship the devil. Got it.
Well, y'all already know the Matrix been real. Neo been telling us that for years. Y'all seen the Matrix 1. We know what we getting ourselves into. Y'all goddamn stay woke.
I don't ever slow up, no I don't take shit. I got no love for the fakeness.
Look at this dude. Why would he have a split body tattooed on his stomach?
I don't ever slow up, no I don't take shit. I got no love for the fakeness. If you wanna play tough and wanna hate this, I'll always show up and make a statement. I don't ever slow up, no I don't take shit. I got no love for the fakeness. If you wanna play tough and wanna hate this, I'll always show up and make a statement.
Everything I do so instinctive and so passionate. Every word I move so descriptive like an adjective. I got a vendetta against
This is why
people
they didn't
who
really care
valued
whether
it.
we
Being
understood
negative
what
when
was
you should
going
be
on. They
getting
didn't care
after
whether
it.
we understood what he
I
his
got
performance
facts
was
over
bad.
facts
Plenty
over
of that.
tracks, this and that.
Super Bowl
Spitting
show.
slow, spitting fast. I could roast, I could gas. Think I'm okay at last, but I don't know if that can erase all the past and the pettiness. A reflection of the emptiness, hilarious. You think you're worth my time, you're delirious, mysterious because you hide behind a fake exterior. Inferior, you know I'll always be a bit superior. Get off of me, this ain't no humble brag. I want you to hear words, you can say them back. I want you to feel free from the chains that last, and to believe in what you got, it was built to last, yeah.
Now that I've been put through hell, I never got.
Stay woke.
This is the most cryptic and symbolic halftime performance yet.
What the hell?
It's all in the name. When Bad Bunny comes out, he's wearing all white like a messiah. Follow the White Rabbit, Alice in Wonderland, Symbolism, and The Matrix.
White rabbit.
We have these people dancing around Bad Bunny here, forming a star, which the star is a six-pointed star of David. At the top of the shack, there's also a square in the center, which represents the black cube, or the black cube of Saturn, which the cube is also within the Star of David, also known as Metatron's cube. The center of any star is also a hidden point, such as the hidden level of Kabbalah or the hidden tree of knowledge. So the bunny falls through the hidden point of the Star of David, which is the center, right through the black cube, falls down the earth, the fallen angels down the rabbit hole.
See, nah, it's making a lot of sense. Y'all seen that halftime performance at the Super Bowl show. They really didn't even care whether we understood the language, what the masses complained about, and none of that. It was all about the agenda. So stay woke and pay attention to what's going on out here.
I don't ever slow up, no I don't take shit. I got no love for the fakeness. If you wanna play tough, I hate this, I'll always show up.
I don't ever slow up, no I don't take shit. I got no love for the fakeness. If you wanna play tough and wanna hate this, I'll always show up and make a statement. I don't ever slow up, no I don't take shit. I got no love for
That's a demon.
No way, bro. No. No. What is this? Are you kidding me? You see it? No way. Since when did this have something to do with the Olympics? What is going on here, guys? This is what people are saying. If you ask me, this is just art in its purest form. What is this? Something is going on here, guys. That's it. I've seen enough. Something is going on at the Olympics that I know nothing about. Why? Because I'm home. I don't know what it is, but it's starting to seem like every main event is going to be like this from here on out. Because I ain't never seen Olympics like this. Or maybe I have. Shh. Sir! I mean, what is this about? Who's that guy up there? Huh? Who is that guy up there with his arms up like that? Who does he think he is?
I'm going to speak very...
Now, if y'all paying attention, paying real close attention, pay close attention to what's going on out here. That performance they just showed at the Olympics, if you really compare it to the show that you just seen at the Bad Bunny halftime show for the Super Bowl, is very similar. You know, the concepts are very similar. A messiah, a guy above everybody else that they're bowing to and they're worshiping within a 6-point star. It's crazy. You know, what's going on out here in the world? Everybody need to do their own research. You know, don't take nothing that you hear, nothing that you see in consideration unless you've seen it with your own eyes and you have a full understanding of what's going on. Once you have that full understanding of what's going on in the world, then you can make your own conclusions. And then you need to let the next person know. Spread the word.
very bluntly in this video about the truth of the Epstein files, the truth of what the Super Bowl really is. It's not what you think. The truth about the beings and the people who instituted the systems and structures that are currently in place on our planet that have kept humanity enslaved and locked in lower states of consciousness this entire time. And finally, the satanic rituals that have been taking place on our planet, specifically under the Vatican. The Super Bowl is bread and circus.
Now, one thing that I do want to say, you know, everything she say may not be absolutely 100% correct, but one thing is for sure. Her knowledge on things that's been going on and the Vatican is highly true. You know, those are things that's been going on since the beginning of time. The Vatican is also known to have miles and miles of historical African history that we've never been able to get our hands onto. Stuff that we do truly believe were then taken into the world and changed to their own narrative to steal our own history because they didn't have a rich history like us. So pay attention.
Came from the Roman Empire. It is specifically geared to keep the masses distracted and entertained while something far more sinister is taking place underground, specifically in underground tunnel networks feeding into the Super Bowl, specifically also on certain private aircraft flying in and out of the Super Bowl. The Super Bowl is not an event that is for athletes, nor is it an event that is for the public to be entertained. Those are byproducts. The Super Bowl is built by the elites for the elites. For the elites to do what? For the elites to meet in one place, one specified place every single year where there is the ability to trade humans. Much like Disney World is not built for children, it is built for adults who like children. If we can keep the people entertained enough to not question what's going on behind the scenes and underground with all of this, then we can keep them controllable and programmable. Ever notice how celebrities at these events will make signs like this, emblems? There are rituals taking place at these events. And these rituals are worshiping the exact same God that the Vatican worships. Stay with me. It's not just the Vatican, it's Abrahamic religion. And it is no God at all. The God that they worship, Yahweh, is a person, being, who's not really from this planet. And this is considered an overlord to the elites, to the families and institutions who have been controlling and managing this planet since its inception, since society's inception. These are also the same people who implemented, they follow the same bloodline as this being that they worship. They implemented the systems like the education system, which is not an education system at all. It's an indoctrination system into the workforce. It teaches children how to obey and not question. It teaches children how to become workers for the system, because we know that everyone is highly programmable at a young age. The family who started this system is known as the Rothschilds. They are part of this bloodline, one of 13 families.
Yo, absolutely. The Rothschilds, yes. And she's absolutely correct. There is a way that they are trying to program us to work, you know, but most people, if you actually look and, you know, do your study and your research, you understand that time is the worst form to make money. You don't trade time for money. You can never get time back. It's the worst form of making money, but they need us. They need us to be programmed. They need our kids to be programmed. They need our kids to go through these systems where they feel like they need these companies in order to succeed in life. When really all you need is your own intelligence and ingenuity to come up with the things that works best for you. Not what best for them, because that's exactly how things are being programmed. What works best for them. So always keep in mind, guys, always pour this knowledge into our kids. It's a very, very, very important. They are the future. They are the ones that are going to carry on our legacy. They are the ones that are going to need this knowledge. The sooner they're able to understand it and you're able to articulate it to them in the correct manner, they can be very aware and they'll be much better off going through life and being successful.
People are getting weird. Is this the age of Aquarius? And Carl Jung actually said the age of Aquarius would be a time of moral collapse. A time that reminded him of those dark centuries where the culture of antiquity was slowly falling into decay. And when the confusion around morals is at its height, a new revelation will dawn for humankind. He said it will no longer be possible to ignore or write off evil. Though this is the age of distortion and confusion and moral loss, as Jung taught us, this will all lead to something. This isn't happening at random. This is by design, designed through interstellar forces we cannot fully comprehend. And this will lead to revelation. Perhaps the revelation is that humans have incredibly dark, sick parts of themselves, buried underneath their psyches. And in the past we hid these parts from each other, pretending to be the good husband or the good wife, the good politician or the good celebrity. But now the fragmented pieces of everyone's subconscious are coming out and they can't even help it. Now we get to see evil. And can you really understand good without understanding evil? So maybe we're here to understand evil. That's our revelation. And the degree to which we understand evil is the degree to which we can free ourselves to one day being good. This is complex though, and I could be wrong. What do you think?
Y'all watch this video about Will Ferrell.
He came on, he was our executive producer. He's like, we got to get these numbers up, man. Right. Like, let's drive these numbers through the roof. What do we got to do to get more eyes on this thing? And we wound up doing this, like, almost like pseudo ayahuasca ceremony where he was wearing robes and antlers and he made me drink the sacred tea.
He's like a druid and he's doing like an invocation to get more people to watch the show.
Yeah, almost like an occult ceremony, but it was all fake. People rubbed blood on me and dirt on me.
At any point were you thinking, what am I doing while this was all happening?
Oh, absolutely. I mean, it ended with him making me suckle from his tea while he rubbed my head. It was so weird. It was so weird. And I'm so proud of it. And the thing I'm most proud of, I'm so proud of it. And the thing I'm most proud of is that this is totally true. There's all these like online conspiracy websites and like subreddits, and they have latched onto this thing and analyzed it and made videos analyzing it, and they say that my show on True TV is like a hub for a Hollywood satanic ring, and they really believe it. And they're saying Will Ferrell is involved in all this Satanism And my show is where celebrities go to spread their satanic messages, which I am flattered that they think my show is that popular.
Yeah.
They're going to say you're a part of it. Because you're talking to me, they're going to say you're both a part of it now. And they're right, and you're right. The conspiracy theorists, you're right. These guys are a big part of all of this stuff.
Yeah.
And they're going to deny it right now, but I came here today to spread the truth. Andy in particular, he's really locked in on the satanic stuff.
No, I'm not.
Why would he deny it? Why would he deny it?
I'm not. I'm just not.
He worships a goat. He worships a goat. Everybody knows it's the worst.
They try to do that stuff right in front of your face and then try to joke about it as if it was just a joke. Man, that's how they try to play you though. They try to make it like the passive aggressive guy that you've known all your life, where they'll say something, but it's said in a jokingly manner because they don't want to offend you, so that way they can back out of it if it does. If you, oh no, I was just playing. That's the same thing. Pay attention.
That's Alexander Wang and Vera Wang. Both Wangs.
Both Wangs.
Mark Jacobs. Tommy Hilfiger.
You? Don't be a silly Billy. I'm just a fun, non-threatening clown. That's what I am. Who wants to massively increase your caloric intake. Look! Come here. There's an all-you-can-eat pasta bar.
Jacobin Mugautu has delivered us
the chosen way.
And behold, God expunged Eve from the garden, only to redeem us with eternal youth, bathed in the blood of the fat little choke.
Wow. Now, what's really crazy about that is, have y'all paid attention to, if you look at the movie It, that's basically like child trafficking. You had a clown that came and convinced kids to come with him, and he snatched them down in drains, and then as you see them with thousands of kids in this underground tunnel where they're just floating, and he's feeding off of them. It's the same concept of what's going on. They're stealing these kids. They're taking them. They're selling them. They're selling their souls. It's crazy out here. We really gotta pay attention, enlighten our kids, and make sure that our kids is the first thing that we protect out here. Also, you see in the movie Weapons, same concept. Weapons, where you had a woman that had all these kids and she was convincing them, they all came to the house and sitting in a basement, standing in a corner in the dark for days, and their parents was looking for them. Y'all pay attention to these movies. These movies is letting you know some things. They're hiding the truth, but in plain sight. You just got to know what to look for.
People are talking about the Epstein files with George Bush and Bill Gates, but I'm still stuck on the jester. Now, jesters are one of the reasons that Epstein and these people got away with everything. Basically, we're looking at D, B, and C class celebrities. For this video, we can use Rainn Wilson and Chrissy Teigen as examples of this archetype. Allegedly. Rainn Wilson released disturbing tweets talking about harming children in 2009 and 2011. Now, you can look these disturbing tweets up. I don't want these tweets to hurt my honey butter's eyes, and I don't want that darkness overshadowing the beauty of my videos and my jacket, okay? It has a dragon on it. He also released a video in 2014 with Soul Pancake on YouTube of him doing really weird things, sexual things to a chicken, a stuffed animal chicken, and you can look that up if you want to see my drift. Chrissy Teigen is also known for having written really disturbing tweets about children, and you can look these up as well. They're awful. Here's how the court jester archetype works. The freedom we, the populace, give the jesters to be disturbing is the degree to which parasitic people believe they can continue to get away with their dark parasitic antics. What if on some level the human populace's degree of compliance with celebrities being weird is correlated to how dark and weird these parasitic people continue to be? Jesters were actually used for psychological warfare. According to Wikipedia, the jesters would ride in front of troops to mock and distract the enemy. Jesters are tools, barometers, for measuring public opinion and outrage. If a jester puts out disturbing words, and there is no public outcry, this signals to the monarchy that the public is indeed tolerant of disgusting behavior. Now, in archetypal context, the jester is seen as a warped reflection of the king. You'll notice his hat mimics the royal crown, and his scepter mirrors the scepter of the monarch. He is simply an archetypal outlet for the monarch to tell the public the truth about what the monarch really is. And have you noticed that Hollywood comedians are often overly perverse?
His entire job consisted of saying, "Take a look at this," which is what he used to say to Mary-Kate Olsen in her dressing room. Bob.
What if they are there to test the waters? How disturbing can these actors bend reality into being, to warp the minds of the populace to think that disturbing words are normal? But the wild thing about humans today is many people still think actors are just actors. They believe the idea that actors are contributing some sort of message to humankind, which is what actors were originally intended to do, is crazy. 15 years ago, little love, when Epstein Island was in operation, we had these celebrities tweeting extremely dark tweets. Most people just wanted to laugh and close their eyes. When people wish to be complacent and dissociated from the evils in front of them, this just symbolizes to the monarchy a degree of public consent. And keep in mind, cutie pie, that jesters can actually come in political form too.
Epstein was cool. There, I said it. Jeff Epstein, not a pedophile.
Pedo thing, it's like, they're really pedophilia.
As long as they're funny and entertaining and a little bit obscure, they could always be a jester. I know what you're thinking. Could I be a jester too? Of course I could be. You should be weary of me and anyone you see on a screen, because that means you're thinking.
Stay thinking, my people. Stay thinking.
It looks like a present, which it is. This is a cord blood registry kit. CBR is the #1 choice for parents, and it's the most recommended by OBGYNs. CBR is also the largest family newborn stem cell preservation company in the world, helping parents store stem cells from cord blood and cord tissue for their children. This is truly a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity to preserve your newborn stem cells from their umbilical cord.
Side note, before I get started, this is coming from the same Chrissy Teigen that tweeted, "I want pizza. I'm going to jail over pizza. I just woke up this morning with pizza all over my chest. Seeing little girls do the splits half naked is just, I want to put myself in jail." So she's promoting a product from CBR, Cooper Surgical. The top investors in this company is Vanguard, BlackRock. I want you to focus on them, well, in State Street. So in another video, I asked what they do with the placenta after birth. Well, they extract the stem cells from the umbilical cord in the placenta. Besides using it for food, they also use it at companies like CRISPR. CRISPR-Cas9 gene editing combined with stem cell technology. Now, I want you to focus where it says allowing scientists to correct genetic mutations. A lot of people are seeing in the Epstein files that he was interested in mutants. Well, essentially, by gene editing, you can create mutants, designer babies, giving people enhanced vision, enhanced strength, the ability to hear from a mile away. The top investors in CRISPR, BlackRock, State Street, Vanguard, but key strategic collaborators, Bayer AG, Bayer, Monsanto. Genetically modified organisms is another way to alter one's DNA. So Monsanto is involved in not only GMOs, but also gene editing. And the same companies that are invested in CRISPR and the company that's trying to collect your stem cells are purchasing companies like Ancestry.com, where people willingly send in their DNA. So what could you do with somebody's stem cells? Reproductive cloning. You can use these cells to attempt to create a cloned embryo. This is from Claude AI, by the way. Genetic surveillance. Stem cells contain someone's complete genetic blueprint. You could sequence their entire genome and learn about disease risk. Essentially, their complete biological source code. Biological weapons, including ones used in a recent pandemic. Creating gametes. You could theoretically create their biological children without them ever being involved. Chimeric research. You can use somebody's stem cells to create human and animal hybrids. I'm going to stop right there, but let me know if you want to hear more about this.
Definitely got a comment on this. This is, he hit this one on the head. I have a personal experience with this. So I have a son. When he was born at 12 pounds and he was 22 inches long. Very big boy. Very big boy. So as he got a little bit older, before he was about 6 months old, the doctors wanted, we want to come check on him, make sure that he's gonna be healthy because he was so large. and they were wanting, they came in and they wanted to draw some blood. And initially they wanted to ask, they were like, hey, can we draw some blood? Because we want to see, we want to test his chromosomes and shit. And initially I was like, maybe so we wanted to kind of see why he was so big, so we allowed them to kind of draw some blood and figure out what was going on. Once they drew the blood and figured out what was going on, they stated to us that, he has a mutated chromosome, an overgrowth chromosome, which makes him very large. So we take him home. Few months and later, they contacted us. A doctor contacted us, asking us. Matter of fact, it was out in Concord. We went out to Concord, and they wanted to take samples of my son's blood to study and test, because they told us that they were very interested in the overgrowth hormone gene that he carries. My son is now 5 years old. He just turned 5, and he's 4 feet 3 inches, and he weighs 73 pounds. And he's not fat. I mean, straight, nothing but muscle. And they wanted to test and see exactly, I believe they wanted to be able to use the information that was going on my son's DNA in order to do just exactly what this guy is talking about. The transferring and the changing of chromosomes to create extra strong people with vision, people that can hear a mile. Like these things, all of these things that Superman had, pay attention, God. Pay attention. There's a lot of the movies and the shows that we used to watch. All the same things, attributes that Superman had are now the exact same attributes that they're trying to create kids with certain genetics. Pay attention.
The states are taking children, giving them to somebody else for money that they get from the federal government. That means that all 50 states are involved in government-subsidized child trafficking. It's a ring. It is the largest and most pervasive child trafficking ring in the history of the world by sheer money and numbers.
Children are seized unnecessarily from their families due to the federal aid entitled the Adoption and Safe Families Act.
It was put into law in 1997 by Bill and Hillary Clinton, and I said it that way on purpose. And it is a law that literally steals money from the Social Security Fund and gives this money to the states in order to incentivize them to kidnap babies.
To receive the adoption incentives or bonuses, local CPS must have more children. They must have more merchandise to sell.
Every child, once you've added it all up, is worth approximately $1 million to the state. But we've been told that this is a $60 to $80 billion a year industry, meaning the federal government is taking $80 billion a year and giving that money to all of the 50 states to kidnap children.
Parents are victimized by the system that makes a profit for holding children longer and bonuses for not returning children to their parents.
But their own statistics state that 83% of all children who are taken by CPS, Child Protective Services, are for unsubstantiated allegations, meaning never should it have happened in the first place. So that imagine anything else in the world where you know you get it wrong 83% of the time and you admit it, but you just keep doing it.
Case workers and social workers are often guilty of fraud. They withhold and destroy evidence.
Yeah, my girl was watching a show on CSI that basically was talking just like that, where it was a woman who was getting kids taken from their family, and they ended up going back, and she ended up getting arrested and losing her job, but she was illegitimately getting kids taken from their family for no apparent reason, just because she could.
Did y'all see what that girl said about Joe Biden?
And the first time that I met Joe Biden was underneath the Getty Museum in Los Angeles, California. I was there for a cock party. I walked through the museum through a field trip. There were kids, there were adult chaperones, there were parents. And we walked through the museum through the garden area, and employees led us to underground tunnels.
But first I had to show y'all those tunnels.
Different everything. There's all means of transportation under the ground. There's cities underground. There's warehouses underground. There's actual homes underground. We had to be led. There is no way that you can just walk into a tunnel. The entrances and the exits are in your face, but there's no way that you can just walk through tunnels. You'll get stuck. You'll go deeper and deeper. You won't be able to come back out because it's hard, because the tunnels run all different directions for miles and miles and miles and miles. There's bodies of victims that are babies.
Viewer discretion advised.
Limbs, bloody shrines, kids down there that act like animals, baby farms.
That comes back to them trying to change and test genetics.
Down there for a blowjob with Joe Biden. Not just me. There was another girl that was with me.
Joe Biden. Yeah, she said it real loud. Joe Biden. You think your stories are horrible, you hear stories like hers. And her story give you strength to get through yours. Because if she can get through it, you can do it too. Y'all can go get the whole story on Allie'sArmy.com. Please. We got to be a voice for her as well as everybody that can't be a voice for themselves. If two is more powerful than one did, what you think we all can do?
Man, it got to be real. If she's willing to put that old wrinkle dinkle in her mouth, she got to be telling the truth. There ain't nobody getting on here admitting that they gave no Joe Biden oral sex. No. I don't see it. She got to be telling the truth. And you got to think, this is a thing that's been going on for years. We've been knowing about the tunnels. The tunnels is real, people. We know. We've been knowing about this probably, me and my brother, we've been knowing about all this since kids. We seen some things as kids when we first moved to like Hope Mills, North Carolina. We seen some things. Telling y'all.
The Epstein files just keep getting stranger. In these emails, he discusses giving people supernatural abilities through psychological stress, cloning people, and even designer babies, whatever that's supposed to mean. Let's start at the bottom here. This person named Gino Yu emails Epstein. He says, I'm in Paris and was about to write you and it popped up. She's a classic stage 3 in the model. Outlier who is intelligent, was traumatized when she was young, SA, and now gradually coming into her own and becoming self-realized. Starting to develop special abilities. This trip, we found a lot more stories like this, though she is more on the extreme side given her biographical history. Epstein responds asking what prompted his email. Then this guy goes on to say the caravan trip has been really wonderful in meeting people that are stage 3. These are people who are developing a different perspective of reality and discovering the gifts they have. He goes on to say, I understand that you were not happy with the results of the Cuba conference that you funded, but I feel like the work is very important toward helping people identify and recognize the gifts that they have, which may not be accepted or well understood by society today. He concludes saying new models are also possible, such as the alternative paradigms group are finding their way, new forms of knowing without knowing how one knows. And in this one, somebody named Brian Bishop emailed Epstein saying attached is the document you requested. It's the use of fund spreadsheet for the designer baby and human cloning company. This gets us out of the self-funded garage biology phase and the first live birth of a human designer baby and possibility of a human clone within 5 years. I pulled these emails directly from the DOJ's website. They are 100% legitimate. This kind of reminds me of government projects like MK Ultra, for example, but they're not the exact same. However, the framework is kind of similar. Trauma, altered states of consciousness, reframing somebody's identity, and pushing the limits of what we think is possible.
It's crazy. They getting us out here, y'all.
I am a real victim of Jeffrey Epstein. The reason you don't see me in the news is because I am a real victim. Real victims are not being represented by attorneys or in the media. I was trafficked to Jeffrey Epstein and Andrew Windsor by Deborah Palfrey, the DC Madam. I was a student at the Catholic University of America in Washington, D.C. in 2002. I answered an ad in the city paper. The ad was ambiguous. Deborah was professional. I thought I was going on a real job interview. Instead, I was drugged and raped by Paul Hung. I tried to tell Deborah what happened, but something she said made me realize she knew what happened. At that point, they had my driver's license, and I did not know what to do or where to go for help. At that point, I was driven by Jonathan Luna to the Bethesda Marriott on Pook's Hill, where Jeffrey Epstein and Andrew Windsor drugged and raped me. I have tried to get help. I called the police. I was abducted for 2 weeks. I was moved from Washington, D.C. by Ed Norris, who was the superintendent of the Maryland State Police. He is now an actor on the show The Wire and has a radio show. My name is Jessica Collins. I live in Virginia. Today is September the 3rd, 2019. If anything happens to me, it's because this information is true, and I have a lot more information about who I was trafficked to in the government, people who are in the White House today. If you could redistribute this video, please save it and redistribute it. If anything happens to me, at least I have this out. I have been threatened. My car was disabled by a government employee when the Jeffrey Epstein news broke. I have been without a vehicle for 40 days. I don't know what else to say. Please save this video. Please redistribute it. Please try and spread it. There is no way that this is going to get out there in the media unless we, the American people, do the work. The government is involved, and I was trafficked for nearly 17 years.
Protect our women and children, people. Protect our women and children. Hey, this trafficking thing, let me tell you something. This trafficking thing ain't no joke. You know, we really got to be paying attention and protecting our loved ones, our sisters, our moms, our aunties, our kids, especially the ones who are the weak, the ones they prey on, or the ones they feel aren't capable of defending themselves. I've been through a similar experience where thankfully my sister wasn't taken, but there was an attempt to try to abduct her out of Charleston, South Carolina, when she was staying there. So this shit is real, very real. Pay attention, watch those around you.
Bieber music video. Where Are You Now? I'm going to slow it down to show you frame for frame. Now, it's created by a lot of Justin Bieber's fans, a lot of artwork from fans, but I'd argue that some of them were created by Justin Bieber to strategically slip them in there to send a message. So this one is really disturbing. It's Justin Bieber with pizza wings, a pizza above his head, far upper right corner. You see his face smelling him, and his eyes are appearing kind of like bloodshot and crying with some devil horns. And if you don't know, in the Epstein files, pizza is used to reference children. Kill the poor, love the devil back, $5 to look at it. This one says false god. Here's another devil one with his mouth silenced. This one says put drugs in your butt, and it has like a little sinister face on the side, and he has a necklace with ice cream on it, with a little tag. Ice cream literally means male. Yeah. Here's one that looks like he's giving some. Here's him with his head blown. If you're reading this, then it's already too late. Here's another one with the Illuminati symbol that says, "We made it." Hollywood with cavities and death. This one is with the devil saying, "The greatest trick I've ever did." Bush did 9/11. Here's one, two-way street, safety or fame, with a bunch of dead people, his eyes bleeding, his face being completely silenced. Illuminati once again. Jesus saves. Help, Ronald McDonald is killing our kids. Upside down crosses, more Illuminati. Stop worshiping me.
He ain't lying. Stop worshiping him.
Honey butter. In order to exit the simulation, We have to understand how the simulation even works. What is a red herring? A red herring is information that distracts or misleads collective focus. And what is the #1 red herring we see these days? Drama. Drama is the perfect red herring because it pulls on the divisive strands in our subconscious mind.
Someone with the temperament of Donald Trump is not in charge of the law in our country.
Because you'd be in jail.
Secretary Clinton.
Remember this? And did she go to jail? No, because it was good drama. We should just go outside and pet a rabbit, little honey muffin. Enough of this drama. This is how the red herring works. Information assault. It makes everything around the truth appear obscure, confusing, creating so many angles of mystery that the actual truth remains hidden in plain sight. Look at the word browbeat. It's an actual word, I'm not making it up. Browbeat means to intimidate someone by drowning them in too many facts, using information incursion as a way to overwhelm listeners. Using information incursion as a way to overwhelm listeners or seekers of truth, providing 200 rabbit holes when this entire time you only needed 1 rabbit hole, honey butter. And what is the 1 rabbit hole? The 1 rabbit hole is you are a multidimensional being that has been repeatedly traumatized and manipulated into thinking you have absolutely no power. Let me know your thoughts below, little angel. Bye.
What I noticed as well is a very specific choice to zoom in on these earrings. Yeah, you got that yummy yum that Jenny McCarthy was wearing when she did this to Justin Bieber. Oh my god.
Wow! I feel violated right now.
Got that yummy,
Wow. I was up here, I forgot to thank the man, Usher Raymond.
And then also
I just want to say something. They have been taking advantage of Justin Bieber for years, since he was a kid and came on the scene. From Usher to Diddy to Jenny McCarthy, like, he is the example of why you don't sit there and push your kids into Hollywood and just give up your rights for them to be successful, because you don't know what that kid has to go through for that success. You just giving them away. You just sending them to these people and seeing that your kid is going to be famous or whatever. And they may not even get as rich as you think. They just may be famous. They get to be seen everywhere. But you don't know the cost of that. You are really selling your kid's soul. It's a shame what they did to Justin.
This after doubling down on it.
Enjoying the night so far? Great. I just got to neck Justin Bieber and grab his butt. I saw that you totally, it was like a full-on almost makeout session. A little cougar scary. Yeah. But I took the opportunity in the window, considering I'll never get to do it again, and kind of molested him. Well, we hear that he may be back on the market. It would be the cougar score of the century. Jenny McCarthy dates Justin Bieber. Would you? I want some Bieber fever, and I want a Bieber rash.
What?
I want it all. It'd be like cougar rape. But
what?
Do you think that he's...
How would she know
when a
him?
grown woman says stuff like this about a kid?
She said, I want a Bieber rash. How do you know Justin Bieber got a rash? What, like, you've already experienced Justin Bieber. Let's just keep that honest. We can see the look in your eyes. You don't just kiss on a young boy's neck and grab on him like that if you haven't already previously been given permission to invade his space like that, which means I've done something previously. That's what I be talking about. You send your kids off and you want them to be successful, and you just giving them to these adults thinking they have the best interest in mind. Don't nobody have the best interest in mind for your kid but you. Keep that in mind. But in honesty, they're telling the dead honest truth. You got to be careful with people like that. There's a lot of people, the passive aggressive people out here like that, where they sit there, even at your job, they'll try to tell you this and that, and they'll hee and joke with you like it was a joke. But in all reality, they were dead ass serious. Yes, it is. It's happening right before your eyes. Do y'all see this list? Do y'all really just look at this list? George W. Bush arrested and executed. George W. Bush arrested and executed. This is daddy. That's him. Dick Cheney arrested and executed. Pay attention to this list. Rick Schmidt, Egg Schmidt. Tom Hanks arrested and executed. Have anybody always wondered why Tom Hanks looked the way he looked? That's definitely a clone. Do you see this? Tom Hanks arrested and executed. The ones they arrest and they execute, they replace them with a clone just to keep everything. Look at Oprah Winfrey, arrested and on house arrest. She know better. Lady Gaga, arrested and executed. Lady Gaga is the high priestess. They all know, everybody knows, she's the high priestess. Of course, they had to kill her in order to replace her with somebody they can put in place to do their bidding. Joe Biden, Hunter Biden, John McCain. Britney Spears, Christina Aguilera, Miley Cyrus. Think about it. These all people that have major issues, whether it's with drugs or something, in the news or in the public. Charlie Sheen, arrested and executed. He's still alive, but Charlie Sheen got AIDS. John Travolta, Tom Cruise, Ben Affleck, Beyonce. The scariest part about the whole cloning thing to me is if you actually go back and you're looking at these people and you're looking at some of their older pictures and their older performances, whether they were singers or dancers or people in politics, and you look at their mannerisms and how they moved in their body and how their body language is, that does not change over time. How you talk, how your mouth move, unless you done had a stroke or a major accident, does not change. Those are the major things that we need to be paying attention to. Look how these people move and how they talk. It's almost like they're learning these for the first time. That's when you know you have your clones in place. They're trying to learn how to be that person. They're still trying to master how that person talks, how that person walks, how that person moves. Everybody has their own unique aura to them. And when you get somebody that's trying to, clone it, mimic somebody else, you get those small inconsistencies. Those are the things that you need to pay attention to.
Also asked, okay, I have just been going over the Epstein files and I found something that I don't think I was supposed to find, and I don't think this can wait. All right. So when you type where was he born, it's Brooklyn, New York, January 20th, 1953. Okay. To double check, I also asked ChatGPT the same thing, and it's the same thing. Please explain this. This is a part of the documents that's been released. What the fuck is this? He was living in Saudi Arabia, residence, manager, His date of birth is stated as 30th July 1954 as Marius Robert, his Christian name. Surname Fortellini. And this was valid till 1987, this particular passport. I don't think they were supposed to release this because... Okay, I have just been going over the Epstein files and I found something that I don't think I was supposed to find, and I don't think this can wait. All right. So when you type where was he born, it's Brooklyn, New York, January 20th, 1950.
Now, why in the world would Jeffrey Epstein's girlfriend have ordered 50 human teeth from India? Here's the receipt. This is the description. A set of 50 real human anteriors for the cost of only $200. Followed by this email from the seller. Hi, the tooth parcel has arrived, USA, and you will receive them soon. Further, in order to avoid loss of teeth due to personal inspection, we have attached all teeth to a cardboard. It will look like a beautiful picture. Remove the teeth and put them all in hot boiling water for 20 minutes and using a clean cloth to wipe them. With theories swirling that Jeffrey Epstein could still be alive, Ian Carroll makes a great point. I think if you wanted to change your identity after you fake your death, a dentist is a pretty important person to know. Is this why Jeffrey Epstein paid for his girlfriend Karina to get into Columbia Dental School after she was rejected by donating hundreds of thousands of dollars through his connections? And why there are dental chair and dentist rooms throughout his properties? Or is it possible that teeth is another code word for something else like pizza and jerky? Because when you search teeth in the Epstein files, you get 1,818 results. And a trove of weird messages like, reminder you want to discuss Faith, Noam, Deepak, Woody, teeth cleaning, Zagat, Eric Roth. Teeth cleaning, haircut, blood test. Okay to tell redacted about her teeth cleaning and whitening. 2 p.m. Make sure teeth cleaner is on time. So, why the obsession with teeth? And is it possible that Jeffrey Epstein's walking around out there with a new set? And why hasn't somebody questioned his girlfriend Karina about all of this? As always, I want to hear what you think about all of this down below.
People with money. That's what they do.
I'm curious about a kid from Brooklyn named Jeffrey Epstein. Who skipped 2 grades, graduated at 16, got into an elite math program at NYU, dropped out, and then at 21 was hired to teach physics at the most exclusive private school in Manhattan without a degree. The headmaster was Donald Barr, OSS veteran, precursor to the CIA, who wrote a novel about elites keeping humans as sex slaves, and who just happens to be the father of William Barr, the attorney general who would oversee the jail where Epstein died 45 years later. Small world. One of those students at the Dalton School where Epstein taught was the daughter of Bear Stearns CEO Alan Greenberg. Epstein told people that relationship got him his Wall Street job. Fired from teaching for poor performance, hired on Wall Street the next day. At Bear Stearns, he rose from junior floor assistant to advising the bank's wealthiest clients, including Edgar Bronfman, president of Seagram's, who would later co-found something called the Mega Group, along with Leslie Wedner and Ronald Lauder, a secret network of billionaire donors coordinating pro-Israel strategy. He joined the Rockefeller University Board, the Trilateral Commission, the Council on Foreign Relations. David Rockefeller personally mentored him, a college dropout from Coney Island, at the table with the man who built the globalist infrastructure. It seems that many were fascinated or impressed by Epstein and his connections, which helped him become even more connected. A defense contractor named Douglas Lee's and Nixon's former Attorney General John Mitchell introduced him to Stephen Hoffenberg, who says Lee's recruited Epstein for British intelligence, and Hoffenberg introduced him to Robert Maxwell. Robert Maxwell, media mogul who sold stolen surveillance software called Promise for the CIA and Mossad, document an intelligence asset whose daughter would move to New York and partner with Epstein. The same year he mysteriously fell off his yacht. 6 heads of Israeli intelligence for a book publisher. During this same period, Epstein had an Austrian passport with his photo, but a false name and a Saudi address. That's not something you pick up at the post office.
So, y'all see this, right? When did he get this out of Saudi Arabia? That is what's crazy to me. July 30th, 1954. That's much different from what Chat GPT and the internet is saying. Look at his damn name. Marius Robert. Come on, guys. They put in these your prime example of people that they put in place to make these things happen. A lot of this stuff, people think that, oh, college is a scam. First of all, it's really a scam. It's a scam you out of damn money. People have this idea. I go to college for 4 years. I come out. I get this great job. I'm able to excel in the corporate world, and I make this money to take care of my family. When that shit is rigged. It's not designed for that at all. It's designed for you to go to school, pay these people all these money at the university, get yourself in debt to where you then have to go to these schools and get out of them with all this debt, go to these companies, and you're basically a slave to these companies, whatever they tell you and want you to do, so you can be able to get yourself in a position to take care of you and your family, which will probably never even happen until you almost retire and die. It's designed like that. These people who are successful, they were chosen to be successful. These people weren't the smartest people in the room, the most charismatic people around that everybody liked. These people were chosen. They were specifically picked and chosen to be placed into these positions so they can be controlled, and the powers to be can make sure things are going the way they want them to go.
That's intelligence tradecraft. One of his clients was Adnan Khashoggi, the middleman, transferring American weapons from Israel to Iran. Iran-Contra, same scandal involving the CIA, same CIA whose precursor employed Donald Barr, same era Bush was running the agency, then the country.
Thank you for joining the baddest YouTube channel in the land. This is Rod OG, and I want to thank you for sticking with me through this compilation. But before we go, let's get this video to 5,000 likes and 1,000 subscribers so I can keep bringing them bangers back to you. Thank you, fam. Let's get back to it.